Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, I am playing in yet another tournament on Lichess. This is the fourth video in this series where I play in an online tournament on Lichess where there is 5 rounds and it's a Swiss tournament. Let's get into the first game. Okay, we have the white pieces. Now, normally I play e4 a lot, and I'm playing my friend Rohit here. And usually we get into like an Italian game with knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. But, I always say that I'm going to play different openings, and then I never end up playing different openings. So I'm going to play a d4 opening today and see how it goes. Maybe I'll play a Queen's Gambit, and maybe I'll play a London system. We'll see. Okay, we get d5. You know what? Let's go into a Queen's Gambit. See if he... Okay, Rohit accepts the Queen's Gambit. And the best way to play this is to go knight c3, and then either go e3 or e4, and then try to win this pawn back. And if they try to keep the pawn with b5, then you go a4 to try and destabilize the pawn chain. So I will go ahead and go e4, target this pawn, and we'll see if Rohit just continues developing like he should be doing, or if he starts to go out of his way to try to defend his pawn. Okay, he continues with e6, trying to develop the dark squared bishop. I will take this pawn back. Alright, we get bishop b4, trying to take this knight. And then when I take back, he's going to take this pawn, I'm assuming. So, I should probably defend this pawn. I guess f3, knight g2 is fine, because the queen can't really come out on this diagonal. Because it's blocked by its own knight. And even if it were able to, like after a sacrifice or the knight moves, then I think just g3 and I should be completely fine. My king's not being weakened. Okay, bishop develops. We'll go ahead and play knight g2. And it looks like we just have the full center here. I'm going to go ahead and kick this bishop out, see if... Okay, he doesn't want to trade. Let's continue with... I'm going to play e5. I'm going to ask this knight where to go. On second thought, maybe I should have went here to pin the knight and then gone e5, but you know what? It's fine. Okay, he wants to take here, but I can just take back. I think I will attack the bishop and see if he wants to move. He could also play this as like an in-between move because my queen is targeted, so I have to take back. But now I think I just win this pawn, right? That should just be a free pawn, if I'm not missing anything. We get queen e7 targeting this, but that is defended. And this is also defended enough times by the queen and the knight. So I think since I'm up a pawn, I'll just take this knight and try to trade down into an endgame. And we are down on time a little bit, but that's okay. I think 12 minutes and 46 seconds should be enough to proceed in this game without making any blunders. Let's just castle. Okay, we get targeted, except we're defended enough times. I want to go bishop g5, but there's two problems with this move. One, this is just not defended at all, so it's not really a skewer because the queen can just take. And two, even if I were to defend it with something like h4, which isn't possible at all either because the queen can just take, there's still like f6 and then takes, and I'm not like threatening anything. So I'm just gonna go rook e1. Maybe line up on this file after my knight moves or the pawn moves. And if you guys haven't seen the previous tournament videos, I will put the playlist link in the description so that you can go watch it after this game or before this game, because I'm not playing this live. Alright, we get g5. I mean, I think he's gonna like go g4 and try to sacrifice this pawn so that he can open up this file, which honestly is what Rohit does in a lot of his games, where I castle and he tries to open it up. I could go g4 myself, but that just loses this pawn, so I don't see any reason to get overwhelmed. If he goes g4, I think I can just take and then defend with h3. I don't think that should be a huge problem. However, I am pinned by the bishop here, so I think I should go king h1 so that the pin doesn't cause any problems and I will continue by developing the bishop. And yeah, again, if he goes g4, then I think take and h3 is pretty solid. I don't think g4 works, unless he wants to defend the pawn with the rook first and then go g4. Maybe that's a little bit more sound. I'm honestly not sure, but you know, we'll see what he does here. Okay, that's what he goes with. Makes perfect sense. I still can't go g4 myself because this pawn will be hanging. However, I think if I could defend the square like h3, g4 is probably not possible then. And I want to go h3 anyway because I don't want my king to be trapped on the back rank in case, you know, all of these pieces make it up one day and like the queen or rook comes down here with the back rank checkmate. I want to make sure my king has some escape square if that ever happens, which has actually happened before. Okay, we get h5 trying to reinforce g4 once again. Man, Rohit's very persistent on this. I think I just want to develop my bishop. If we get g4, then maybe I take and then play well, no, h4 isn't possible because of this queen. Let's think. What about knight g3? Try to go to f5 and attack the pawn. Oh wait, that doesn't work. That's just hanging. Okay, I'm gonna go... Let's see. I'm gonna go bishop e3 to defend this pawn so that my knight can actually move. And if he goes g4, maybe we'll just take and then move the king up so that if takes, I can actually take back. Because if I don't move the king, then this pawn is just pinned, I think. Yeah, we get g4. This does look a little bit scary though. Because after takes, if I take back, then there's all sorts of idea on the open H file. But if I don't, then I'm not sure that's any better. Because if I go king h2, then still takes, and this is really open. But it's not like I have a lot of options. I mean, I guess this is fine. I'm not getting checkmated or anything, right? But if I take back, then rook g2. Oh, and he has a windmill. And I go back and he checks me again. That's not good. I should probably not take back then. If I take back like this, that looks really unpleasant. Like rook here. King here. I don't know if I want to go into that. So I'm going to have to allow him to take this. Which, I guess I could go knight f4 and try to defend this. Maybe? Would that work? And after takes, I go here and try to take this back? Am I crazy? Wait a sec, but after takes, there's queen h4. And if I go rook here, then queen h4, knight h3. Oh man. Bishop d7. Queen f3. Rook h8. But then I take. Then here. And takes. I don't know what I'm calculating here. This does not look pleasant. Queen h5 doesn't work because of this. I know what's going on. I'm just gonna go rook g1. I hope I'm not like getting checkmated here. There's also just rook h8. But that allows me to go king here. And then escape like this? Why did I get myself into this? But now the other rook comes over. It looks like this is more safe than the other option, however. I only have one legal move. Oh no, is there queen h1? There better not be queen h1 there. No, I can just take, and I'm defended enough times. Alright, queen g4. Let's go here. not exactly the best start to the tournament in the first round, but you know, we got a wild game here, and I am down a pawn now because I allowed him to take. Like, he sacrificed his pawn, and I didn't take it, and he just took 2 pawns, so now he's up a pawn. That's crazy. Alright, Rohit's taking a bit of time to think here. I guess he's thinking about if he should trade queens or not, because he does have a lot of attacking possibilities. Okay, we get bishop to f3. I was gonna say he does have a lot of attacking possibilities, so usually you don't want to trade your queen off if you're the one attacking. Bishop f3. Where do I move the queen is the question. Queen e1, queen f2. That looks okay. I mean, I don't have a lot of other options. What else do I have? Like queen b3 to try and get in from here? I think I'd rather have my queen on like the defensive side. And also, is this an issue now? Rook h1? If I take, then takes, and take, then take, then take. Oh god. That might actually be an issue. If rook h1, I actually cannot take it. I have to allow him to take. And then I think I'm fine. But I don't know. Looks really sketchy. Rohit has 10 minutes and I have like 7 minutes and 45 seconds. So I also have to move a bit faster here. Okay, we get bishop takes d4. That is a move that I honestly did not even see. Wow. Because if I take with the bishop, then queen takes f4. Oh god. Okay. Wow. Rohit is playing insanely well today. Let's see. If I move the rook, then take. I don't know if that's healthy or not. Because this rook can come over. And that doesn't look good. If I take, however, then queen f4, king c3. And then here. And then I can move the bishop, question mark? But then queen here. Oh wait, queen here is not possible. I don't know. I'm gonna take the bishop, but this does not look promising. Now Rohit is up 2 pawns. And he could very well be up a bishop in a minute or two. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. I do have e6 ideas. Targeting the rook like this, but that's... I mean, that doesn't even work because the rook can just move and this is defended. Holy. Okay, wow. Yeah, I have like nothing in this position. And I can't even take this free pawn because then my bishop gets trapped. What is going on here? I'm just losing. I have no compensation for anything. Wow. That's actually crazy. Alright, we'll see what Rohit does here. Okay, we do get rook h1. Now, I can't take, obviously, because he just promotes. And then I'm just down a queen. But I think I can just leave it there. That should be fine, hopefully. Because if he takes, then I have the queen and the bishop to take back. Let's go ahead and go e6. Maybe create some threats over here. Oh, wait. He can just take it and take my pawn. Oh, but I can take with the bishop. Not so fast. If he takes the rook, then I take back with the bishop, and then if he takes here, then I go up. So he can't actually take this pawn. It's a poisoned pawn. Or not actually poisoned. It's just... You can't take it because then I fork you. Okay, he does take on g1. Whoops, sorry about that. So, we are forced to take back. Oh, queen f6. Queen f6. Yeah, and I have to kind of go back, and then he can't promote, but he can take this pawn. And then I'm down 3 pawns. That's not good. I guess bishop d4. And the problem now is that after takes, I can trade queens. And then I can go rook g1. But then he just has rook h8 and then rook h1. And I have nothing to I can't stop promotion. So actually, I can't even trade queens. Queen e7. Why would you not just take the pawn? Wait, I'm a bit confused. Now you have to... Does he want to trade queens? No. Okay. I mean, if promotion, I still have the bishop covering, so I think I'm fine. Wait, isn't this just free? Oh, it's not, because b6. Completely forgot about that. Completely forgot about that. Okay, let's see what we can do. I can move my queen freely, because if promotion, then the bishop just takes and we're fine. So... let's go queen h4, maybe get this check in to try to force the king one way or another. And we'll see what Rohit does. Okay, we get b5. Now I think this is just free. Because if it's not, then... oh, wait. Queen g7. I block. He promotes. I take. Queen can't take, though, because my rook. Honestly, I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know. Now he's only up one pawn. Like, if this pawn were here, this is the big pawn. Like if these two pawns weren't here, even, this pawn is literally one square from promoting, so it wouldn't even matter. If this pawn weren't here, it would just be a dead draw, because all the materials equal, everything is just drawn. Also, queen h3 forces bishop g4 to save the bishop, right? Oh, never mind. The queen literally defends. What am I saying? Anyways, I am not playing great today. I apologize for that, but, we do get this free pawn here. Remember, before it wasn't available because there was b6 to trap the bishop, but now there is no b6 because the pawn just moved to b5. Rook g4. I could pin the rook. I could also give a check. Rook g8. And I could give a check on h3. Let's do that. Why not? I also have to watch out for... oh my god. What am I doing? I just forced a queen trade. I was gonna say that if I went rook h3, I mean queen h3, there's this skewer that wins my rook if it weren't for this bishop, because it could come back and stop it. But I just went to h8. Okay, he didn't wanna force a queen trade? That's weird. I'm gonna go check again. Probably just bishop g4. So that I have no more checks on h8 or h3. Because if he goes rook g4, it's the same position, so I can... what? Oh, he's gonna attack my bishop. I was gonna say, if he goes rook g4, I can check again, and it's gonna be a threefold, unless he does something different. But that's definitely different. Gosh, this queen is really annoying because it's defending. And now I have to move the bishop. You still can't promote because my bishop and rook both cover. So at least that's off the table. But, yeah, okay, we have 2 spectators. And I have 3 minutes, 46 seconds. Rohit has 5 minutes. So he has 1.5 more minutes than me. Oh, I just lost the bishop. Oh my god, I can't believe I just did that. That's insane. I have to move my king away from the bishop. And then I lose the bishop. And now he can promote too. Oh no. He doesn't even have to promote to a... what? Oh, if he promotes, then I can take the bishop, so he saves the bishop first. Alright, this is just resignable. Now he can definitely promote. And now I have to stop guarding the rook. And this is... yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, that is really close to checkmate because my king can't move anywhere, but I can just take this. I think he thought that was checkmate. Like, if he took the rook, I would just resign. But now we actually have some chances here. Like, he's only up a bishop now. So, if I don't get checkmated somehow, I think I might actually be okay. Never mind about that. If I go king here, then check. If I go king here, then check. I mean, there's checks all around. I'm completely trapped right now. So if this rook like gets in, like rook g2, and I don't know how you stop that. Okay, now I have one legal move. If I go here, I think there's some sort of checkmate. If I go here, I lose my queen. Let's go here. Let's see. Oh, is there just rook g1? And then you take the rook? That could also be it. And then at that point, all I have to hope for is some threefold, but I don't even have any checks in the position. So, like if this bishop weren't here, then I might have some checks, but I don't even have any checks. So, yeah, we'll just wait to get checkmated, I guess. Okay, we get bishop to c6. I'm looking for any stalemate traps in the position. Like if I could sacrifice my queen and when he takes, my king has no legal moves. The problem is I still have pawns. And with pawns, you could never have stalemate. So I'm going to try to sacrifice my pawns and then look for a stalemate trap. So hopefully Rohit takes it. I mean, if he does it, I'm going to start taking his pieces. So he better take. He's probably going to take. We get queen to f6 check. I'm going to go ahead and slide my king over. I don't know why he's not just taking the pawn. Oh, when queen f1 is checkmate. I should have gone like here or something so I can get a stalemate. But good game to Rohit. That was very well played. And with that, we lose game number 1. Let's go ahead and move on to game number 2. All right, round number 2 is starting in just a second. And we are playing black against 1273, and I am 1564 because I just lost like 20 points after losing to Rohit. But hopefully we can, win this game so that we can, first of all, get that rating up, and second of all, get more points in the tournament because right now I have 0 out of 1. There's 3 seconds for him to move. Okay, so basically how it works is you get 30 seconds to move, and the timer doesn't go down. And if you don't move in the first 30 seconds, then it actually starts ticking down. So it looks like he's not online because if you're online, then you have this green dot. As you can see, it says join the game. And if it has that white dot, it means he left the game. So we'll see if he comes back or not. But yeah, I hope he comes back because if I beat him, I want to beat him fair and square, not just him losing on the first move because he wasn't here. But I'll let you guys know. Alright, my opponent finally moved after having 13 minutes on the clock, which means he spent 2 minutes. I'm not sure where he was. I'm gonna go ahead and play a Caro-Kann. Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry guys. Last video I said that I was gonna play a different opening and then I completely forgot about it and I played the exact same opening. After this game, if I'm playing with the black pieces again, I will play an opening other than the Caro-Kann. I promise I will. But I completely forgot about that, and I was just like, okay, let me just play what I usually play. And, yeah, I don't think I need to explain what I'm doing because it doesn't look like, I think this is pretty self-explanatory, so that's why I'm not explaining it. I was just developing my pieces. He pinned my knight to the king. I attacked it. The best move was to take, but he didn't take. Instead, he went back, in which case I pushed him even further, and then I just won this free pawn with the nice fork on the knight and queen. The bishop and the queen. And now we will take this bishop because we are up material. and defend this pawn with the e-pawn so I can develop this bishop. And then we will be castle and we will be up a pawn. So that should be good. Alright, let's go bishop b4. Maybe take the knight. Okay, queen f3. Let's castle, get the king to safety. And queen g3. I'm gonna take this and then go knight e4 so that the queen is stuck defending this pawn. And then I'm gonna go rook c8 so that I attack the pawn. I think. Okay, that is simply not a good move because I can just take this pawn, I think. There's no traps, right? It's not like checkmate or anything. Oh, bishop h6. Oh god, hold your horses there. Alright, there is a trap. It's to checkmate me on g7. And usually in these types of positions, you would have to go g6 to prevent the checkmate. And then they would win your rook if you hadn't already moved it out. But in this specific position, I have queen f6 to defend the checkmate. And after I move my king out of the way, I'm actually threatening this bishop. With the pawn, of course. With the queen, I'm already threatening the bishop. So yeah, it has to move back. And I want to fork here, but the queen defends. So wait, if I go queen e5, then he's just going to repeat moves. Let's not repeat moves. No. Let's actually, oh wait, I can go here anyway. Because if the queen takes, then I take the rook on the corner. Because since his bishop moved back, his rooks are not connected anymore. So after the queen takes, I can take this rook. Aha. There's still bishop h6, by the way, because it targets my queen. But now I can just move it back, and we're just up a rook for a bishop, and we have a lot of extra pawns. So this should just be completely winning. Let's go rook c8. Target this pawn. Maybe double up on the file. Okay, queen comes out. This is just completely free now, but okay, my opponent resigned. I was gonna say this is completely free, but before taking, I'm gonna offer a queen trade because that will make things much simpler. But the simplest way to end this game is just when your opponent resigns. With that, we win game number 2, which is a good thing because I lost the first game. And I will see you guys when we get to game number 3. This is the last game going on in the second round, and it looks like black is up a pawn but is down on time by like 3 minutes. So this is a very close game, and if you guys want to see how it ended or any of the games in this tournament, then I will put the tournament link in the description so you can go see it. But yeah, very close game. Also, I don't think you can defend this pawn. Can you? Maybe you can push? Not sure though. Anyways, yeah, and I'll see you guys in the third round. Alright, third round is starting shortly in 3 seconds. And 2 people currently have 2 points out of 2. And I only have 1 point out of 2, so I'm probably not gonna make it in the top 3 this time. But we'll see. Maybe I win all my rest of my games, and I do. We're playing Elon here. Very, very often played on the channel, on Lichess, as well as chess.com, I think. In one of my videos, I think it was called Best Out of 3 Match with a Friend, and that friend was Elon. Let's play... You know what? Let's play a Scotch game today. How about that? Like, I usually play Italian, and let's play a Scotch Gambit. Now, this is an opening I learned from a YouTuber called Chess Vibes, and basically, you go d4, this is the Scotch game, and then when they take, you don't take back, but instead you sacrifice the pawn so that you can develop your bishop. And the main move is bishop c5, but Elon plays knight f6. I think I also did this in one of my daily games with Elon, and after e5, he goes d5 to attack my bishop, and then I castle. I think it's the move here. And after take, I take here. And then I can go rook e1. And, I get all my pieces active really quickly before Elon has a chance to do anything about it. Is basically the point. And you get castled really quickly, develop your pieces. And yeah, I'm down a couple pawns, but it's only 2 pawns. And the development makes up for it. So, for instance, I can go attack the queen here. I'm going to line up on the bishop. And yeah, it's not a great position to play with for the black pieces. Unless you know what you're doing or you're a stockfish, in which case it's an excellent position. I'm going to go queen e2 here because it prevents him from castling, because I can just take. So let's go queen e2. And I'm also threatening to take. And after knight takes back, he can't castle anymore. So he goes bishop e6 to stop that idea. And I guess I should take this. I'm not sure what the best move is, actually. Maybe it's take, maybe it's not. I don't know. We'll take it. We'll see what happens. And I would like to go c3. Or, actually, I was going to say I'd like to go c3 so I can take and then bring my knight to c3. But maybe it's, maybe it's better to go to d2 and try to take this pawn. And if the bishop takes back, I can always take like this, open this up, which should cause some problems. And yeah, we'll see what Elon does here. Okay, he castles long, which is, I guess, an option. I'm going to go ahead and take this free pawn. We are only down 1 pawn now, but we are developed, I would say, more. So this should make up for it. If he takes the knight, I can take here. Or actually, I could even take the queen, because after knight takes back, my rook can take. So actually, I have 2, different options that I can decide upon. Okay, we do get taken back here. I think I'm going to decide on this option because... No, I'm going to go with this option because it gets my rook on the 7th rank. So it's really active and it's looking at a lot of pawns here. And if this bishop were here, it would just take this pawn on the next move. And in fact, I can set that up with knight e5. I was going to say knight e5 to target the bishop, target the pawn. Now if I go knight e5, it doesn't target the bishop, but it sure does target the pawn, and it does look pretty nice. So we'll go ahead and do this. Probably just easily defendable, but then I can bring this rook and in general, this position with the rook on the 7th rank just looks really nice for me. And my rook is getting a little bit trapped here because this bishop is blocking off its vision. But, okay, whoa there, f6. Does that not just lose a pawn? Because I can take this bishop. Yes, he can take my knight, but then I just take that pawn. So now we're actually equal in material. The only thing I have to watch out for that Elon doesn't is back rank mate ideas. But my rook is here, so I should be fine. If I do nothing about this pawn, like if I just push by, he's going to have a passed pawn, which is going to be really annoying to get rid of. So I assume that I should just take this. But if I do take it, then his rook gets pretty active. So if I'm wondering if there's any way other than that to stop it. But it doesn't look like there is. So I'm not going to overcomplicate things. I'm just going to take. And then after he takes back, which I'm assuming he's going to do, I'm going to go rook a e1 and try to get this rook on the 7th rank. Maybe take a pawn and then get the other rook there as well. But I don't want to get back rank checkmated, so I am going to go h3 in the middle so that doesn't happen. Okay, he wants to take my pawn. And if I go here, he takes my pawn, I take his pawn. He takes my second pawn, but I can't take a second pawn. So I'm going to take a moment to defend that pawn. And then we will go h3 so that there's no back rank checkmate. Like, I'm assuming he's going to go rook h d8. Try to... Okay, or that. Attack this pawn. I guess just moving it is an obvious option. Now there's no more back range checkmate idea, but I still want to go h3 so my king can escape. This way, it just feels like a natural square to go to more than f2. I think h2 is a more natural square. And then, okay, I was gonna go. I was gonna say I'm gonna go to the second rank, but I can't because the king came over. So I need to actually take a minute to defend these pawns so that I can move this rook. Because right now I can't move the rook. So we'll see what Elon does here. Maybe he'll, he'll start attacking my rook, in which case I can probably go back to e1 and try to get a rook trade with this pin idea, but, we'll see. I'm also doing a lot of talking, but Elon's also doing a lot of thinking, so our time situation is actually exactly even right now. We get rook f6, trying to bring this rook over. I'm gonna go rook e1, or I should say rook e1, because this one can also go there, and try to get this rook trade. Now, rook f d6 is probably a good option to stop the rook trade, but if he plays anything other than that, I think this should just force a rook trade, right? Because I don't see any other moves that... Okay. Yeah, so that doesn't work because I just have this. Oh, but can he take? If he takes the pawn, I take here, he takes, and I can take this pawn, though. And this is not back range checkmate because of that trusty square that we cleared up. That's good. And if he does take, then we have this, rook rectangle, which looks really cool, actually. And I can, if I take this one, then he can't take this rook because it's pinned, but he can just take this one, and it's check, so I'm gonna lose a pawn. But if I take this rook, then it's check, so he has to take back like this. And then I take this pawn, so material is even. Yep. So we'll go ahead and do that. And in this case, he can't take this rook because it is check. And we'll go ahead and take this pawn. So now it's even. Except for the fact that he has two isolated pawns. And I have all connected pawns except for this guy. And if he goes here, I can't actually defend this pawn. So I'm going to take a moment to attack his pawn. So that if he attacks me, then I can take and defend my pawn at the same time. Or he can go there to defend his pawn, but now his rook is being passive, so I'm going to bring my king over. And it looks like we're going to have a pawn and rook endgame. It looks like he also wants to bring his king over, but then I can just go up and I'm not really getting trapped because I have a lot of room to run around over here. So I'm just going to bring the king forward and maybe try and take his pawns with my king. And also push my pawns, because if my pawns are just sitting here, then there's really no point. Alright, this is the only move to try and escape with the rook. And notice how my king covers the square, so that the rook can never attack my pawn from this square because of all the pieces, and it can never attack it from this square because my king covers. I guess we should go to g8, try and target this pawn. I'm assuming just g6, right? Or maybe rook defense. We'll see what Elon does. Okay, he does defend with the rook. I don't want to allow rook d3, but I still want to bring my king forward. How do I do that? Maybe... Okay, let's attack this pawn. Because now he can't defend with the rook, so he basically has to move this pawn. Or he could do that. Okay. Well, what if we just push this guy? Right? The rook can't really go anywhere here because my king defends all of them. Well, I guess it could go here because it's defended, but you get my point. It can't really, come to attack my pawns. And I'm just going to push them, and since I have a majority of pawns on this side, right, 2 to 3, I'm going to try to win the pawns on this side. Our pawn is being attacked by the king. I guess I should try to take this pawn so that it's equal. But he can defend it with this rook. In which case, I'm going to lose this pawn. Which might be concerning. But again, I could also go rook a7 to try and target this pawn if he does defend. A5 doesn't really do anything because if takes, then I can still take here. So I'm going to continue to push my pawns over here. Notice I'm not going h5 and just going straight for it. because after takes, my pawns are not connected, so they can't support each other. But this way, they're all connected. He has a pass pawn on this side, but I have a 3 versus 2 here, and he has a 1 versus 0 here. So, looking at material, this is completely even. How do I go about this? Maybe, let's go f5. I know I said I don't want to create isolated pawns, but it doesn't look like there's a way forward other than doing this, right? So, I'm gonna try it. Let's take this pawn. If king b2, I might even take... Okay, never mind. We get pawn here. Let's go h5, try to create a passed pawn of our own. King b2, okay, reasonable. I guess I should move the rook over. Rook check, king moves, take. c3 takes, c2 here. Oh, but he promotes with check. That's not good. I didn't realize that he was going to promote with check. Right? Because rook e7, king, somewhere. He takes it. I take back. c3. I take here. c2. Here. If this wasn't checked, then I could also promote. But it's checked, so I have to move my king, and then he stops the pawn. Wait, does he stop the pawn? Yeah, he stops the pawn, like that. Oh, God. And he found it. So I can't defend my rook because of what I just said. What if I go here? Wait, that's completely absurd. I just abandoned my rook. And then after he takes, I take on here. And then take, he just goes here, and I just lose. That's unfortunate. I did not see that. What if I go up here? Here. He still queens with check, though. Yeah, I can't do anything about that. If only it wasn't check. Yeah, now just queen h6 and he takes this pawn. What is he thinking about? Now you just bring the king. Or that, actually, and now I just lose the pawn. Yeah, and now... stalemate, please? Wait, that's not stalemate? Oh, because I can move my king here. Dang. How do I get into a stalemate trap? If I go anywhere here, it's check. So I have to go here. But this is still not stalemate after he promotes. Yeah, and with that, we do in fact lose game number 3. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I will make another video for the last 2 games because I have to do something right now. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will put the link in the description for the last 2 games later. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know in the comments how it was. Sorry about losing 2 of the 3 games. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! Like and subscribe!